it's on here. Here. I'll just go scroll down. I'm sorry. Once this gets up, I'll get it. Expand it. And just start it from the beginning. Now we're doing stuff. See, that's why you have nephews and family that love you no matter what, because they're going to help you out in the long run. But when we begin to talk about outreach, I don't want you throwing up a wall. I want you to relax. Everybody needs to take a deep breath and just exhale for a minute, because outreach isn't something that you need to fear. Outreach is something that you need to embrace. And the easiest way to embrace outreach is to understand outreach. The easiest way for me to explain what outreach is to tell you what outreach isn't. Number one, outreach is not some special club. You don't have to have a prerequisite. There's no pre-requirements. See, you don't have to have gone through Evangelism 101 in order to be a part of outreach. You don't have to been on the street and led 10 people to Christ to be a part of outreach. And it's definitely not a place to where you come to be recognized. If you're looking to be a part of outreach to be recognized, this is the wrong place for you. Because this isn't about you. We have to get our mindset on a culture of love that this is always about the person that we're speaking with. It's never about you. It's always about what we're doing for the kingdom. It's not about what you're doing for your repertoire. There's nothing in your life that matters more than the person sitting next to you. The only outreach that actually produces a fruit that will remain is an outreach that comes and is bred from and through a culture of love. If you're out there talking to someone to bring them to church for the wrong reason, that might be a fruit. It might come in, but as soon as you take a couple bites of that fruit, you find the rotting core. So this is something that I want to work on from outreach from the inside out. That's how outreach takes place. It doesn't go outside those doors before it happens inside the four walls. Outreach doesn't require special gift. I know some of you saying, well, I can't talk to people. I didn't go to seminary. Thank God you didn't, because I didn't either. You don't have to have a gifting of prophecy. You don't have to have a gifting of healing. You don't have to be that person that walks up to somebody and the gift of healing is so heavy on you that every person you touch is healed. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for average, ordinary, everyday Joes and Marys. You don't have to be walking in a gifting in order to witness to people. In order just to talk to people, just to invite people to church. You don't have to tell them the setup. You don't have to tell them anything. You don't have to go through and start pre-qualifying their church to the people that you invite to church. Well, this is what we'll do, and this is how don't do God's job for him so much. Let him have his job. He's told me several times, can I have mine back because you're really stinking? So I've had to give it back to him a couple of different times. When we start talking about outreach, a lot of us begin to start thinking about church growth. And church growth is directly affected by outreach. Here's the problem with me saying church growth. You automatically look and think about the numbers coming through the door. The first thing in your mind when I said church growth was numbers. Rightfully so, until you understand church growth. How do we understand church growth? Number one, we have to know what the church is. Number two is we needed to know how it was constructed. I'm going to bypass that this morning for sake of time. But the church is people. In the Bible, the church isn't about brick and mortars. It's not about stone. It's not about buildings. The church in the Bible is about warm, breathing, living people. That's the church. And you cannot say, I am the church. Because in fact, you standing alone are not the church. See, a lot of people go, no, I'm the church. No, you're not. We. We. Jesus didn't die for just you. When Jesus pledged to build His church, He was pledging to bring together a body of believers. Husbands, love your wives. Christ loved the church and gave Himself up for her. Jesus died for people. He died for people. And until we can get our minds wrapped around that in outreach is never, it's not even something we even need to explore if we don't understand. The church has many members in one body. Make every effort to keep yourself united in the Spirit, binding yourselves together with peace. I appeal to you, dear brothers and sisters, by the authority of our Lord Jesus Christ, to live in harmony with each other. Let there be no divisions in the church. Rather be of one mind, united in thought and purpose. Can you imagine everybody coming in here and wanting to do something different every day? We've got to minimize individuality and maximize unity. Because here again, the culture of love, the number one principle in the culture of love, it's not about you. It's not about your feelings. It's not about the pastor didn't shake your hand or somebody didn't pat you on the back. It's not about you. What did you do to somebody else? It's a body of believers working in unity. But speaking truth in love, we may grow up in all things into Him who is the head, even Christ, from whom all the body fitly framed and knit together, through that which every joint supplieth, according to the working and due measure of each several part, making the increase of the body into the building of itself in love. God calls and places each and every individual member that's sitting here this morning. He's placed you here for a purpose. There is something in you that I cannot accomplish. Only God graced you to do it. There's something in the person beside you. They can do it. You can't. You've got to believe that. If you don't believe that, this is the tendency of what happens in our mind when we say that I can do what they're doing. Then it becomes about you again. And now, instead of being a body of believers in unity, we're individualizing ourselves. We're pulling out people's faults, failures, or whatever we deem that is a fallacy. And we're starting to point that out instead of doing our job. See, you can't do your job well enough if you're trying to do somebody else's job. God's called you to do a certain part in outreach. What is that part that God's called you to do in outreach? Where do you fit in as a person? Where do you fit in as a person? Everybody walked in here this morning got a 3x5 card. If you didn't raise your hands, we'll make sure you get one. There's only one. Man, y'all done awesome. If you don't have a pen to write on that card, please raise your hand so we can get you a pen. See, that's one thing they can't see in your hand. You don't walk in church with a pen. You shove it in your pocket or whatever. The purpose behind this illustration is to let you know that no matter what you think you know, you don't know it all. No matter what you think that you endure on a daily basis, there's always somebody else out there that endures something even more. And I just don't want you to get hung up on the fact and the ideas that you've got something that you're dealing with and you can't become a part of outreach or you can't become a part of something because every day in life you're fighting something and you're struggling with something. This morning is going to be a release in your life as an individual. Don't worry about the person sitting beside you. Don't worry about anything else at all. This is what I want you to begin thinking in your heart right now. Not in your head. Not in your head, because too many times we walk with a self-righteous attitude. But I want you to begin thinking in your heart. Right down to the nitty-gritty. What is it every day that you struggle with in your life? Doesn't have to be the deep, dark, dirty sin. And don't be so holier than thou that you can't be true to yourself. Outreach starts here. God's having His opportunity this morning to do outreach with you. What is it in your life that you struggle with daily? It might be a pride thing. It might be an arrogancy thing. I'm just trying to give you some, because I don't want you to narrow this down to where it's got to be, oh, the sin. Oh, no, I don't want to put that on. Until we're able to go to God selflessly and open up and go, God, I've got an issue. He can't fix it. God will only and can and is only able to fix what it is that you're willing to expose. You've got to open up to God. This is God's opportunity to do outreach with you this morning. So what is it in your life right now that you struggle with every day? Try not to write a book, because Bishop's got me on the clock. We're about finished. And it can be a one-word deal. It doesn't have to. You don't have to give me explanation. I'm not going to ask you to stand up and read your cards, so don't have that fear. That was just Satan just told you that. Don't write it down. He's going to ask you to read it. Now what I want you to do is take that card and I want you to fold it. It's 3 by 5, 5 being the long side, right? I want you to fold the 5 inches in half. Nope, I want you to fold it right to left. Hold the card up 3 to 5, and I want you to fold it right in half. Because I don't want anybody being able to see any fold different. Don't fold it 3 or 4 times. Don't fold it 12 times. Don't do origami. Don't do it. Just fold it in half with the writing on the inside, just as if you was hiding it from your neighbor. See, we're good with that. We can hide stuff, so just fold it in half. Other way. Here, I'm going to use hers just to give you a demonstration. Because y'all can't see from back there if you're like me anyway. That's how I want it to look. Just a little card. Just like that. David, can you find one other person with you to get the plates? This is what I want you to do. Don't get nervous and don't get scared.
What you're going to do. This is really good, what he's doing. But if you put your name on that,
yeah, don't put your name on, please. I'm sorry, I left that out.
Or if you put something that's going to peg you with somebody else, don't hand this in. You okay with that? Don't put your name on it.
If you put your name on it, just scratch your name out real good. Or tear it off.
Don't put your name on it. Don't do it, because the exercise he's wanting to do is real good, but I'm sitting here and I'm going, I don't want anybody to be pegged by something because they put a name or they put something like that on it.
And this exercise is not about pegging you. It really isn't. This exercise is about other people. Remember, this is not about you. What you just wrote on that piece of paper, somebody else needs to know. Why? Because they know there's somebody else that's struggling with something too. So as they come by, if you would, just take that plate around, just drop it in these plates for me if you would. And I promise you, I ain't trying to find out who wrote what. It ain't going in no special order taken up, and ain't going to go in no special order to do anything else with it.
There's 2 things here you can do with this. Everybody's got something. Everybody's got something that they're struggling with, and God still wants to use them. Everybody needs somebody else praying for them about what they're struggling with. And you don't have to know who it is, but you need to know somebody needs your prayers in this body.
Everybody turned it in? Everybody's got it back in the plates? All right, Charlie, bring in plates back up here. If everybody's hand